demo for your shadows project. So here are the guidelines. I need to import them to Lightroom, put them in a collection. So here are my collections. So you would select them and hit create collection. I went through and rated them, so I'm going to filter them by rated and pick the ones I'm going to edit. So I'm going to start with this one. First, I need to make sure it is a 5x7. So I'm going to go to the crop tool. I'm going to make it say 5x7. And then I'm going to get rid of, make sure it's all white. I would move it more this way if I could, but I can't. So I'm trying to make it symmetrically balanced by cropping it very similar. Lots of negative space. Try and make it a little more rule of thirds. Okay, then I'm going to hit close. Now I'm going to start with a tone curve like I'm supposed to. So you have to do a tone curve. Required. If you forgot how, directions are right there. So I'm going to drop in the middle of my midtones, and I'm going to leave that one there. And then light gray lines, this is the middle of my highlights, and I'm going to pull it up. I have my clipping warning on, so you don't, that is bad. I just want to move it up, and how bright you want it is up to you. These little pieces of highlight are fine. They're like minor clipping. It's okay. They're clipped in originally. And then right here, this is the middle of my shadows, and I'm going to bring my shadows down. Again, bad. So I want to make sure I bring it down without clipping out lots of detail. So I need to keep them on these lines, because if I go this way, I make them brighter, and if I go this way, I make them too dark and start clipping them. So I want to keep it on this gray line. So I'm going to pull it down. And this adds higher contrast, and these little pieces of clipping are fine. So I did my tone curve. Then I could go in and adjust the tones individually, but I basically did that with the tone curve, but I could go in and, no, I don't like it quite that bright. I can make my whites like a teeny bit whiter so they're higher contrast. I don't want to start clipping things, so I'm not going to go too crazy. So instead of using the contrast slider, I'm using the tone curve. I could increase my clarity just a little. Again, you see how it's starting to clip things? So just a teeny bit is fine. And then I'm going to go in black and white mode and show you. It's already pretty much in black and white. But black and white has this slider. So I can click on this dot, and then it'll pick the color and make it darker or lighter. I'm moving up and down. So if I want to make them a little brighter, this section, I just click and it'll pick the color and make it brighter, or dragging it down makes it darker. I don't like what that just did, so I'm going to go back to convert to black and white. I went back in my history. And I'm going to click on this dot again, so I'm going to drag it up to make these a teeny brighter. I'm going to go over here and make these a teeny darker. And you see how it's picking for me. I could also come in and just pull these, but I prefer to use this little dot. And I think this is good. So I need to edit 3 total. So again, I would crop it to 5x7. I'm going to try and reduce distractions. This is not a very complex shadow. It's not that great. Again, I'm going to do an S curve. So I'm going to click in the middle, drop my midtones, leave them there. I'm going to click on my highlights and bring them up, making it more green. I'm going to click on my shadows right here, these light gray lines, and bring it down. Again, don't clip out. Remember, the blue is right up here. And then I'm going to try and make my highlights even brighter. Oop, nope, can't tell the shadows. I don't want to start clipping things. Nope, gonna leave those alone. And then if I wanted, I could do black and white on this one, but I kind of like it in color. I could turn down the vibrance so it's like not quite so green. Remember, don't turn anything ever to 100. Let's see, I could do a tone curve on my green. I'm doing it like individually on the other channels. Okay, and then I would need to export them. So I edited this one. I've already edited, whoops. So I'm gonna hold Command, click on the first one, holds Commands, click on the second one, holds Command, click on the third one, export. I would save it for today's date. Making sure I'm still in high, and then hit export. It doesn't like my slashes. It'll fix it for me. Export and turn those in. Happy editing.